Hi, I'm Phil Malto and welcome to Snowbuilder Television, brought to you by On Snow Magazine. On today's episode, we're here in Duluth, Minnesota for the kickoff to the ice hockey racing season. Along with the snowcross sleds, you're also going to see some snowbike action out on the track as well. And because it's snowcross episode, well, that means our sleds for today will be the Ditch Bangers. That's going to be in our sled reviews later in the episode. Let's ride.
STV is sponsored by Yamaha, revs your heart. Kimpex, fueled by fun. And by CKX, wear your passion.
Duluth is something special. If you survive Duluth, you basically survive the whole season because everybody wants to win in Duluth. And so many riders here, and yeah, every team is like so focused on getting that first spot.
It's awesome. I've come here since I was just a little kid watching all the pros, and to be a pro now is just awesome. I mean, you get a race here and you look at the start, when you're on the start line looking down over the city of Duluth and all the lights shining and everything. It's such a cool area, especially to kick off the season. It's got such a known name, Duluth being the kickoff for snowcross, that it's awesome to be here and start off the season and get things rolling.
Yeah, I've been coming here for many years. It's always kind of the first race of the season. I love it here. It's always a good track and great racing. Also, too, the first race, no one's raced for 4 or 6 months, and we're all excited and ready to go. But it's fun to get it out and do the first one and just have fun.
Duluth, it's the event. It's the biggest event of the season. Every racer from around the world comes here because it's the first race of the season anywhere in the world. And so it's a bit of a proving ground for those that want to come out here and ride that hard. For us, we take it as an opportunity to come and practice before our first CSRA race, to gauge where we're at, gauge where the fitness of the riders is at, and where our machines are at, and to test ourselves against the best in the world.
The past 3 years, I've raced the Ice Hockey Series full time, so I'm very familiar with all the riders, and yeah, like it definitely is something when you have the top level riders lining up beside you. But I try not to look at that and just focus on myself and do the best that I can do, and wherever that puts me is where I'll be.
It's a lot different here. It's a lot more intense, I guess you could say. With all the fans, it's awesome to see all of them out there. You pull off, everyone wants to give you a high five. It boosts your confidence. You feel great after a race, even if you didn't do too well. All the pros, you get to walk by the big rigs and trailers, and it's a lot of fun to be around. And it's good to race new people, and it's a lot different. You don't really know who's fast and who's slow, so you just kind of got to take everyone seriously and then just go.
It's relatively the same because I'm always propsing the guys beside me saying good luck, and they're all very nice and very respectful here. But I know that it's a little bit more challenging once the light goes green and we're out racing. It's a lot more challenging, but it's fun.
Duluth this year, man, it's just neat to see everyone back on the snow. We had crazy warm weather leading up to this. Didn't know if the event was going to happen. We get here and it's the biggest track they've ever had.
The tracks are awesome here. The snow's a little different, so it's a little bit more sugary, and it's a little different for us, so it's hard to get used to, but the jumps are fun. We like to fly through the air and go fast here. Yeah, everything is just a little bit bigger, more intense here. The riders definitely are a little bit faster here as well. It's good competition. It's good to keep me on my toes here. It's frustrating at times. You don't want to go too fast, but you want to keep up to them and try to do as best you can and kind of keep a level head and It's good fun here. I like the tracks. They're a lot different than at home in CSRA tracks, so it's just all fun here.
It's a very technical track for sure. Like you said, after the start, the lanes split up. It's kind of, there's so many options out there that you don't really know which one is always the best, but you try and make do with what you got. The downhill section was definitely the most treacherous for me. The whoops were really big. It took me a bit to get used to them, but I think with some work we can definitely get it figured out.
I love the track. I mean, I wish I had a little bit more snow. It got pretty dirty, but the track was a lot of fun. It was a good racing track, and it made for good racing, I think. It was an awesome day, awesome weekend event. So
I had some struggles this weekend, that's for sure. We worked with the setup. We basically come here to train because we raced back in Canada, and I did my best. Basically got the setup, pretty good setup for today, Sunday, but what can you do? Like back home in Norway, we don't groom the track because snowcross is not as big as America or Canada, so they don't have the money to put a groomer in there and groom the track all the time, make it smooth and nice. So it's basically, you show up in the morning, the track's groomed for sure, and after all the racers have been through the first round, it's pretty rough out there. They can go out there once or twice in a day to groom the lip of the jumps or anything, but it's getting pretty bad out there back home, and that's probably why we're good at it.
It originally started all about family, so it's really my family business, and I got involved 18 years ago now, and through the support of the family and some big sponsors that have come on board over the years, that's really how we've got this operation running. So yeah, working together as a family, even though some of these are true not blood family members, that's something that I feel strongly that has helped us get this team organized and get it underway. So working with the St. Ange family and even the mechanics, the Goodale family, the Utley family, and we got the King family involved, Saraceni's, who's a nephew, and now the Williams family. They're all connected, and that's something I've worked hard to try to maintain, starting off with my own family, of course, but working with others, that there was some synergies and that enthusiasm for the sport. And it just makes everything that much more enjoyable on the weekends when we're all getting along and having a good time. And then of course the thrill of the wins that comes along with it. It's difficult for sure. This is a big operation. There's a lot of riders on the team, but I've got really good guys working for me. Glenn Goodale is our lead mechanic for the stock program, and Derek Utley for the pro program. And then Steve St. Ange and his buddy Tom that come and work exclusively with Isaac. To be honest, it makes it easy for me to run around in the pits and pick and choose the things that I really want to focus on, and that's working with the riders on and off, and then making sure that all the mechanics got what they need to make sure that the day goes off successful.
What's it like being on the team like Bailey? You know, it was Stuart running running the show, different riders, different backgrounds,
Yeah.
different everything. What's it like as a rider being part of a team?
It's very interesting for me because I watched it grow. I watched my dad build our team to what it is now, starting in the 120s, and then watching as we all progressed, how I have my cousins on my team. Now I have Stahl all the way from Norway, which is kind of like my brother now. He's been here for 3 years. I have Isaac, which is just a good friend now from the races. Just everyone, it's a big family-oriented team, and all our sponsors are really putting out this year to help us out, and it's been incredible what my dad's been able to do and where we are now.
There's a lot more going on at the races. There's so much, Ryan's always going up and coming back, Stahl's always going up, and we're all at different times, so it's kind of scrambled. But it's good. I like it a lot better than being on my own because I have I feel like a family here on Bailey's. They're awesome people. They're so nice, so supportive, always joking around, always happy. They're awesome.
With the explosion in popularity of snow bikes over the past few years, you just knew it would not be long before we would see them at major snowcross events. At the Duluth Amsoil Snowcross, the snow bikes made their first official appearance. With something so new, there were a lot of questions along with the anticipation and excitement to see them roll up to the start line. Just like in the backcountry, the sights and sounds of snowbike action are very different than those of race sleds. A row of four-stroke engines is not something we hear at snowcross events. A row of single-ski racers is also something new. When the light is green and the power hits the snow, it is obvious that there is a future for these new additions to our winter sport. During both day and night racing action, the crowd really focused on these new machines as they entered the turns, cut a different line, and exited with new racing tactics. Up the hills and jumps and then back down the nasty mogul section in front of the grandstand, the snow bikes showed their strengths and the challenges that also faced them. The racers loved it, the fans loved it. So what do they do differently and where do they go from here? Well, so much of that is the excitement of the unknown. We all know what the bikes are capable of, so how will they adapt machine and rider to snowcross tracks? Will they change the shock kits? Will they modify the rear skid frame? Will the frame be changed with different shocks and alternative ski options? Remember, snowcross snow is very loose and very granular, while powder snow is very fine yet firmer and allows the snowbike rider to bite into it with their ski. Adapting to snowcross is a big challenge for racer and machine.
Big change on the SR Viper is a new front shock. So they've moved away from the Fox Float 3s that were previously on them, and they've gone to the Fox Zero C shocks. And they're a coil-over traditional shock, but they have adjustable rebound on them. That's kind of uncommon. Usually you see adjustable compression and rebound, not just rebound, but it's actually kind of a nice feature. So the more you kind of get into shocks and learn about what they do and how you can tune them, rebound is extremely important. So today we were going through some tight trails and some sweeping corners with lots of stutter bumps, and with the rebound you can actually dial that in. So whether you're kind of slapping off of them or you can back it off, so you're giving it some time to come back and really absorb it. They have the Tuner 3 skis on these, but they're nice. They're a fairly narrow design. They bite in well. There's very little darting. Very, very positive feeling. You don't feel like you're going to push. You feel like when you turn, you're going to turn. So it gives you confidence. Track straight. There's no issues with that. The sled was actually, it rails in the smooth hard pack. These are a great sled for putting big miles on, like Northern Ontario and in Quebec. I mean, these things rail around corners. They got great suspension. You can really get these adjusted and set up so they work really well for smooth trail, big G outs, fairly high speed running. I find the Viper package is really calibrated for higher speed running. You get into the tight twisties. They're great, but they're, I think, really well suited to quicker speed, bigger bumps. They're a pretty aggressive sled for those kind of trails. So today with the big sweeping corners and the 6-inch to 1 foot bumps, it handled really well. They can actually handle quite a bit bigger bumps as well at speed. So it's good. Handles the bigger stuff a little better than the smaller stuff, but it works well. It's a good all-around suspension package.
There was a time when the best ride you could get was when you took a race sled and tamed it down for trail riding conditions. Today's consumer can buy a sled like the Arctic Cat RR8000, which looks like the race sled but is better set up for tough trail conditions. Shocks are the big deal here. How much can you throw at them before the suspension either gives too much shock action or not enough? As many as I've seen in the past, a super stiff shock setup will seem like a good idea in the showroom, but on a stutter bump trail section, you'll want the shocks in the RR instead. In the rear of the race replica, the new Fox 1.5 and 2.0 QS3 shock arrangement delivers a great ride for the smooth, the stutter, and the big bump trails. Not only do they make it easy to physically switch among the 3 settings, those positions also take out the often finicky micro adjustments on other sled setups. The sliding movement in the rear skid, combined with the race geometry in the front, provides a great point-to-point balanced suspension package. But what gets this thing moving? How about that Hyper 800 that has been turning heads for a few years now? With 160 horsepower, this twin-plugged 800 two-stroke can really fly. This race replica has a lot to offer, and while it is the replica and not the full-up race sled, trust me, this is the sled you want to ride for all-day aggressive riding.
This is a Minnesota ditch running, ditch banging machine. It's really, the XCR is what most Pro X rush buyers really should be buying. The Pro X is made to run, do driveway approaches and run the ditches and the I-500 kind of route. The Pro S is much more suited for trail. It's it's lower, it rails around the corners like an F1 car, and they're fast. They get great traction. So what the XCR does is takes the aggressiveness and the big bump capability of a Pro X and puts it in with the handling package of the Pro S. So, but does it handle the trails? Absolutely. Very aggressive sled. It's got Walker Evans clicker shocks with high-low compression adjustability on them, but they're set really stiff. So it's got aggressive shock valving. It's got stiff spring rate and all the springs all the way around. So I mean, this can pretty much handle everything you want to throw at it. Plus, it'll handle on the trails and it'll go around the corner with no inside ski lift. It's got a Cobra track, 1.35 inch lugs on it. With the Pro XC rear suspension, it's all traction. You want to lean back and you want to hook up, it's all traction. You want to stay forward and rail around the corners, and it does that. You want to go jump and run some 4-foot craters, it'll do that too. So to me, this is what most Pro X buyers should be buying. Really happy with the XCR. It's glad to see the name back, and it's a great package.
Out on the racetrack, the pounding on the sleds and the shocks is incredible, which is why they use a full race setup. For you ultra-aggressive trail riders who'd like to hit the big bumps and the big whoops, Ski-Doo has the sled for you. The MXZ XRS is proven fast, proven tough, and proven to be able to take anything you can throw at it. With this XRS package, you just stay on the throttle and let the amazing skid frame soak it all up. How does it do that? Well, it all starts with the Rev chassis with RevX base design, a well-engineered platform that has proven its worth and earned its keep. If you look closely, you'll notice that it resembles modifications seen in the MXZ X 600 snowcross race sleds. Those adds are there for durability, as nothing is as tough on a chassis as a few laps of a snowcross track. Bolted to that chassis is our motion suspension in the rear. That setup is mind-blowing in the way that it can soak up the worst bumps on the trail without knocking your feelings loose. Whether you're accelerating or braking through the bumps, you'll never hear the chatter you may hear in other sleds. Out front, the Raz2 suspension delivers crisp cornering and an aggressive bite without any confrontation. It is smooth, yet crisp, and with the Pilot adjustable ski, your control can really be fine-tuned to your personal settings. A full-up package with proven suspension and motor is the reason that this 800 MXZ XRS continues to fill a vital role in the Ski-Doo arsenal. Welcome back to the Snowbuilder Television Garage and Workshop. Jeremy Gerard is here today to talk about helmets because things have changed from the 70s when I wore this old can. Jeremy, what's new in helmets this year?
Well, Kimpex's new helmet, the Titan, has just hit the market, and we've basically got what we call a backcountry modular. It allows you to open it up, allows for quick access with the quick strap goggles, and makes for the type of helmet that allows you to talk, allows you to breathe.
Have a drink of water even.
Have a drink of water.
No more taking off the helmet for a drink of water. Let's talk about the strap system and the new visor.
So some of the features of this helmet comes with a ECE certified quick strap pro clip. It also comes with a integrated GoPro mount mounted right here on the top. Also quick strap goggles and 210-degree goggles. And primarily, goggles have always been traditionally 165 to 180 degrees. With the 210-degree goggle, it allows you for a huge peripheral vision when you're out snowmobiling.
Well, that's really something. Also, I like the fact they've opened up the top here so you don't get that wind resistance when you're driving with no windshield on a lake. And for others like myself who take a lot of pictures, there's a nice benefit to this design. But we slip this and do this and grab this. Nobody has to wait for us to take our helmet off to take pictures anymore. You can run. So for people like me who carry cameras and slow the crew down, this is going to speed things up. And the design of this helmet came about from
snowcross racing was some of the testing that was done. Professional racers like Tim Trombley used this helmet in the end of last season. It's an ECE certified product, and yeah, there was definitely a lot of input from many different camps.
This is going to be really popular with people in the backcountry, people who trail ride, people who use cameras. We're going to see a lot of it this winter.
We sure will, Phil.
STV is sponsored by Yamaha, revs your heart. Kimpex, fueled by fun. And by CKX, wear your passion.
I hope you enjoyed today's action-packed episode. Remember to join us next week back here on the snow. So fun working alone. I feel so lonely. In a future episode, without the owner knowing, I'm going to take his Blizzard 7500 Plus out on the snowcross track. Yes, I am. I wish.